Ladies, gentlemen, and Ian.
The late one.
On time on it.
3 weeks of fabulous theatre and art, comedy and music, and it all culminates in a speech from me. You deserve better. One of the things I've been asked most this Fringe, and I guess I get asked this most every Fringe, is how's it going? It's going. I'm just really happy it's happened, and I suppose I can say it's gone. Thank you. I'm delighted that we've been able to go ahead after 18 months of COVID, and I'll try not to use the C word again. We have reached the end of the Fringe without major incident. A few shows have had to go because of self-isolation. Lots of stand-ins, but it's happened, and it's all the performers and artists that have made this an excellent Fringe. And thank you so much for bringing your work. I realise it's been so hard to get together, to rehearse, to prepare shows, let alone find anywhere to put them on in advance of this. So you've all been wonderful, and we will recognise some of the performers and excellence in the awards very shortly, I promise. I'll not go on too long. I mentioned Serpentine Community Garden earlier. I'd like to say thank you to Carol Garner for organising the venue, and to the Community Garden for hosting us. It's brilliant to be outdoors. I really like this. And thank you to Ian Parks, who's doing photography of the awards for us too. I was looking to see where you were, Ian, and you're behind me. There's so many people I need to thank, but to start from the beginning, I want to thank the Fringe Committee, as capable and as enthusiastic a bunch of people as you could really hope to meet. Over my 2 years as chair, I've delegated more and more, and they just keep sucking it up and doing everything that needs to be done, and I really appreciate it. I may delegate the speech next year. It was good to see Keith here. I thought maybe you could just recycle one of his old ones. And it's been great to see that every year there's some new initiatives, and it's lovely to see them happen, especially when I have nothing to do with them. So thank you this year in particular to Viv and Carol, Pam, Sandra, Linda, and all those involved in the orange hotspots that you've seen around the town. We've brightened up the town with orange flowers everywhere you look. Thanks also to Rob Harrison, who's both committee member and Morrison's community champion, who got us some flowers. And thanks to Kinder's little shop of flowers, who they may have taken our Fringe desk, but they have watered a lot of plants for us, so thank you to them. Sorry, I'm sure I should be more slick at this, but never mind. Right. You'll know that we didn't publish listings in the programme this year, simply because the programme was so volatile right up to the Fringe started. But I'd like to thank our designer, John Tromans, who, working with Stephanie, put together our new format guide and has dealt patiently with so many changes this year, and we've thrown a lot of stuff at him. During July, the face of the Fringe is the Fringe desk, and as I've alluded to, we're in a new place this year, in between the cafe and the conservatory in Pavilion Gardens. So very grateful to Paul Calsall and all of Parkwood Leisure for making that space available to us. I think it's worked really well there. Thank you to Gay for leading the efforts to get set up in our new space, and to all our desk managers, including Gay, Alice, Denise and Cameron. We've made a really good team. I appreciate how much you've done this year. And also we have a lot of volunteers who help out at the desk. Some are committee members, but some are people who just want to help out the Fringe, and we really appreciate them all for coming along. During the Fringe, there's an awful lot of work to be done to keep the programme up to date with late changes, making sure reviews are covered and published on time. So a special thank you to Steph, Ian and Robbie for staying abreast of everything, and particularly to Dan, our webmaster, who deals with so many changes without complaint. Well done. It's one of my secret ambitions is to make sure I'm not chair. before Dan gives up running the web. It's been a particularly difficult year for venues. The changing rules in the run-up to the Fringe have been a constant challenge, not to mention the changing rules during the Fringe. We appreciate all the efforts that they've made to make all our venues safe and comfortable for all of us. Underground venues have come and built their theatre above the old clubhouse as usual. It's been a massive commitment to do that, with reduced audiences, reduced staffing, and it's meant an awful lot to the Fringe that you've been here. So many, many thanks to Tom, Zoe, Dylan, Gemma, Nina, Oliver, and all the team there. Also, the Green Man Gallery has become a real stalwart of the Fringe and a cultural hub all year round in Buxton. And Caroline, thank you, Caroline. Caroline at the gallery has kept slots open for everyone who wanted to come in 2019. Or no, in 2020, what year is it? Everybody who wanted to come in 2020 and couldn't, kept their slots open. And I know that Caroline has had a full programme all year. It's not necessarily the same programme now as it was at the start, but constant changes, and we really appreciate the help of everyone at the Green Man Gallery. Buxton URC and the High Peak Bookstore have come into their own as venues this year. We've seen great audiences and at both, and great performances. So thank you to Leslie at the URC and Louise at the bookstore and all our venues for their support this year. And financially, the last couple of years have been difficult. We waived all our entry fees last year for our online Fringe. We've kept them low again this year. And we've also lost some of our sources of funding over the last couple of years. So I'd like to thank High Peak Borough Council, who do continue to support us. But for 2 years now, our Fringe friends have been our main financial contributors. We're really grateful for everyone who supports us in this way. And if anyone would like to become a Fringe friend, there's information in our programme guide. It's online, and it's a small individual contribution, but collectively it means an awful lot to us. So also thanks to Jeanette, who looks after the friends for us, and she's in the back corner, so maybe ask her about it afterwards. But I would especially like to thank all the audiences who did come out to see our events this year and trusted our venues and performers to keep them safe. It has meant the world to us to see people at shows and engaging with the Fringe. As audience members ourselves, we've been so glad to go and see theatre, art, comedy, music and spoken word and all the other events that make up the Fringe. And of course, none of this is possible without all the performers and artists who've created and performed for us this Fringe. It would be literally nothing without you. And the last 18 months have been particularly difficult for the arts. Work has dried up. Many have gone without government support. And as I said earlier, in the run-up to the Fringe, it's been hard to meet and rehearse. There haven't been the opportunities to perform. And of course, you've had to perform in socially distanced conditions. So we're so grateful for your resilience and perseverance for bringing your work to us. In Buxton, we consider ourselves very lucky to be among the first to enjoy a festival of art this summer. We're about to recognise excellence at these awards, and of course we can't mention everyone, but more than ever I would like to thank every artist, performer, writer, backstage crew, venue staff, everyone who contributed to this very special Fringe. Thank you. So, I'd say without further ado, but I'm going to have a drink. My hands shake like mad anyway, so don't worry. Answers on a postcard, why? Right, we'll start with music awards this year. A really great music programme and just some fantastic work. Personally, I've seen more music this year than I've ever seen before. It's kind of like, who's been keeping this secret from me? It's brilliant. So you may not see me at theatre ever again. I lie, of course I won't. I was writing out all the nominations for Ian and thinking, why didn't he just bring them printed out? And then I haven't done it myself, so I can't blame him. So, nominations for a small ensemble. Hill and Friends for art and music. Mr. Simpson's Little Consort for English songs and music of the 17th century. Emmeline Quartet's Evening Concert. The Roth Guitar Duo, music for 2 guitars. And Egriega and Ormrod, When a Piano and a Story Ran into a Song. And the winner for a performance out at Ian Parish Church of early Baroque music, which really tied in the themes of the plague from then back to COVID of now. It's Mr. Simpson's Little Consort. In large ensemble, just brilliant that we have large ensembles again. The award goes to High Peak Orchestra. Their first concert in 18 months was described as entertaining and enchanting, so it's good to see them back. It's a very poor show.
It's very eco.
Yes, this is part of our ecologically friendly approach to the Fringe, except I've got bits of paper everywhere. It's terrible, I've lost that. The solo instrumental awards nominees.
I'm trying, it's not working.
I'm so sorry, I seem to have lost my internet connection, I can't find it. Goodness, I'm not a performer. Solo instrumental, Mason Greenwood for one of the Broadwood piano recitals. A classical guitar recital by Richard Haslam. Harp guitar in concert by John Pickard. And Jonathan Prague, classical guitar. And the winner for a very unusual instrument, played wonderfully, was harp guitar in concert by John Pickard. And the vocal performance, the nominees are Annette Gregory for Jazz and Me, and Fortell for The Story and the Song. And the winner is Annette Gregory for Jazz and Me. I was at Annette's concert last night and it was fantastic. Okay, I've got a couple more to do, and I'll go away and get somebody competent to do this instead. We have an award for film, and just wonderful to see Brother and Three's Company back at the Fringe and to see what they're doing now. And I think that anybody that saw their short films thought they were fantastic. So for an admin worker at the end of the world and other films, the award for film goes to Brother and Three's Company. Somebody's got to come and collect something off me.
Great. Steve, do you want to be in it or not?
No.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have to list all the categories that we have at the Fringe, and we go, and more, because there is just so much more than can be safely categorized. So we do have some and more entries. We have 2 nominations in this category. There's BCA Stronger Woods, which is a programme of events in Greenlow Woods and elsewhere. and the Buxton Letterbox Trail by the Southwest Peak Landscape Partnership. And the winner is the Buxton Letterbox Trail. Thank you very much. I'll just get out of the way now. Ian, I'm sure you can do a much better job.
I wouldn't guarantee that.
Ian's going to present
Do you want a bit of paper?
Comedy Awards.
Oh,
Christ, yes. We went to all that trouble for it. Well, if this is an award for competence, I don't really know where I'm going. Okay. Well, it's been I'm fed up saying it, difficult year, isn't it? So we all needed a bit of cheering up after the C word. But sadly, a lot of the comedy also contained the C word, so we were a bit tough. Nevertheless, we did have some riotous fun in some of the shows, it must be said. So we've got 2 awards for comedy. One is for the event and one for performer. Okay, so under the category event, we have Dirty Scrabble, Rob Rouse, which was a bit of fun late on a Friday night, as you can imagine. Her P's and Q's by Telltale Tits. That's what it says here. Him Indoors by Chiquita. Impromptu Shakespeare and the Impromptu Shakespeare Company. And Questions of England. Questions of England was a bit tricky because you had to know things about England in order to answer the questions. Okay. The winner is Impromptu Shakespeare. Okay. Everybody's gone home, haven't they? Okay. For performer, we had a list from across the board for nominations. So we had Charmaine Hughes for She's Immortal Horror Queen Guide to Love. That's a mouthful. Gerard Harris for Band in the USA. Nathan Cassidy for Bumblebee. Andy Gilbert, The Poetry Teacher. And Rob Rouse, No Refunds. Who's at No Refunds? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Well, the winner is Rob Rouse for No Refunds.
Getting involved.
No more.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to introduce the Visual Arts Awards. We're not doing any kind of predictable order, we like to keep you guessing. So with the Visual Arts, we make an Event Award and an Artist Award. And the nominations for Event were Art on the Railings, from Buxton Art Trail, the Buxton Flower Pot Trail, Funny Wonders, the Buxton Spa Prize Exhibition, Keep It Under Your Hat, Mary Gwen, and the Up Here Sculpture Trail, Art Up Close. And the winner is, well, if I just say, Diolch yn fawr iawn, ti wedi gwneud yn dda iawn, Mary Gwen, gyda Keep It Under Your Hat. I knew that was a good learning Welsh during lockdown. There we are, always handy. The artist nominations are Jan Hoyle, felt artist we saw on Art on the Railings, Jeff Perks for a painting called Buxton from Solomon's Temple with Approaching Rain at the Buxton Spa Prize exhibition, Eva Dusola, and that's bound not to be how you say it, for The Little Train, which was a colograph print of The Little Train at the Buxton Spa Prize exhibition, Louise Janetta for her exhibition Considered Consolidation, Lindsay Piper for her Dryad in the Up Here Sculpture Trail, and Jeff Schultz, the photographer who did winter woods and other landscapes. And the award goes to Lindsay Piper for Dryad. I'm also going to do spoken word now, another very flourishing and wonderful category, including live and online events, which is rather good because the online stuff carries on and you can listen to it afterwards. Anyway, but the nominations that we've got, though, having poured through it all, is Kaidman Sings, Michael Gibson, about Anglo-Saxon poetry at the Green Man Gallery. The Geography of Me by Rose Kondo, her emotional and geographical travels. And Made in Mexborough, Ted Hughes' South Yorkshire, Steve Ely. And the award goes to The Geography of Me. So I hope she's got her red spot and knows where she is.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
And the last one I'm going to announce is children's events, a small but wonderful little category, and the award that we're going to make in that category is for Tiny, Mouse Queens and Mole Kings, Stone and Water, and I took part and it was great. And now I'm going to hand on to Ian Hamilton, who's going to do theatre for us. The microphone and the certificate.
That's too much. I'll see if I can.
Shall I hold the microphone?
No, it's fine. I'm just going to see if I can do this as well as Steve.
Thank you very much. Can I say how nice, how nice it is to see how many people here, and indeed to see how well supported the Fringe has been this year. This is my first time at doing this, so I'd just like to thank Stephen on my right for not setting the bar too high. Consider it, thank you. Right, I'm going to talk about theatre, and there are 3 subcategories. The first one, unsurprisingly, is called theatre. The second one is new writing, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And the third one is street theatre. Okay, first of all, theatre. Now, in a sense, I think I've drawn the short straw because it's a pretty big category. In another sense, I feel very privileged to have been allowed to talk about it because it's what really is, for me, the best bit of a Fringe. Anyway, in theatre, the first category is female actor, and here are some nominees. Firstly, Lexi Wolfe, after Shakespeare, Slade Wolfe Enterprises Limited. Secondly, Patricia Hatzorn, Dressing Up Dietrich. Then Heather Rose Andrews for Jekyll and Hyde, a one-woman show, Sweet Productions. Then Helen Bates, A Lady of Letters, Chaplainly Frith Players. And lastly in this category, Sarah Gray for Lemons, 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 Lemons by Sam Steiner, Easy Company. And the award goes to Lexi Wolfe for After Shakespeare. The next category is male actor, and the nominees are John Hewer for Dracula, One Bloody Fang After Another, Hambledon Productions. Sean Hennessy for I Have Sinned, Queer Dog Theatre. Daniel Gentles for Kes, Sudden Impulse Theatre Company. Alistair Massey for Lemons, 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 Lemons by Sam Steiner, Easy Company. Modge Taylor for Makeup by Andy Mosley, No Logo Productions. Paulus Loiseau for Mr. Fox, Paulus Loiseau and the Off Broadway Company. And Eddie Brimson, Naughty Boy, Eddie Brimson. And the award goes to Sean Hennessy for I Have Sinned. The final category in theatre by itself is for production, and the nominees for that are After Shakespeare, Slade Wolf Enterprises Limited, Buttercup by Patricia Downey, Spanner in the Works Theatre Company, Lemons, 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 Lemons by Sam Steiner Easy Company, Makeup by Andy Mosley, No Logo Productions, Mr. Fox by Polis Wazoo, the Off Broadway Company, Nathan and Ida, Tempest Fugit, and The Virtuous Burglar by Dario Fo, Sudden Impulse Theatre Company. And this time the award goes to Buttercup by Patricia Downey. Right, the next category is new writing, and it's worth noting that new writing is an award that is given across all categories, so it's not actually just theatre. The nominees for new writing were After Shakespeare, Slade Wolf Enterprises Limited, Buttercup by Patricia Downey, Spanner in the Works, The Eel and the Willow Tit by Steve Ely, Mr. Fox by Polis Wazoo, Piano Meditations by Adrian Lord, and Zoe Burry Oversharing by Zoe Burry. And the award goes to Mr. Fox by Polis Wazoo. And lastly, street theatre, which I always enjoy a lot as well. This particular group have been coming to the Fringe for as long as I've been coming to the Fringe. This year, it looked to me when I saw them that their numbers were slightly depleted, but they performed the same amount of pieces with the same enthusiasm and panache as they always do, in a brand new venue, which seemed to me very popular and very well chosen. The award goes to the Shakespeare Jukebox, Buxton Drama League.
Well done.
Right, I'll next hand over to Robbie Carnegie, who's going to talk about Youth Theatre and John Beecher Award.
I almost got caught by the string down the back here to stop this blowing over. It's a bit scary. I'm not relying on technology, so I've written things down rather than trying to remember my password for my phone and things like that. So yes, I'm talking about the awards for youth theatre. Youth theatre was a category that was sadly particularly kind of decimated this year by COVID and by various lockdowns and people having to isolate at the last minute. And the shows that did take place took place under extraordinary circumstances where they had to have cast changes and of many times along the way. The programmes were a list of people, formerly this, formerly this, formerly this, but they still put shows on, which is remarkable. The first award I'll be presenting today is for Youth Actor, and there are 4 nominees in this category. They're all from the same production, which was How to Think the Unthinkable by the Rec Youth Theatre Senior Company. And the nominations are Emma Gard, who played Antigone in that production, Lydia Howard, who played Ismene in that production, Elise Marling, who played Tom, and Molly Cartwright, who played Eurydice. And the award goes to Elise Marling. Okay, and the next award is for youth production, and there are 2 nominees in this category. How to Think the Unthinkable by the Rec Youth Theatre Senior Company, and Bright Young Things by the Rec Youth Theatre Junior Company. And the award goes to How to Think the Unthinkable. Okay, the next award that I'm going to present now is one of the Fringe's special awards. It's the John Beecher Award, which is awarded for original and challenging work with high production values. The award, as many of you will know, was created in memory of a young man who grew up alongside the Fringe and who devoted much of his time to its success, particularly with Three's Company and underground venues. Following his death from cancer at the age of 25, his family set up this award in his name. This year's recipient of the award is a show that combined physical dexterity, clownish choreography, humorous wordplay, and burlesque-style songs with a sexual health and inclusive message. The John Beecher Award for this year goes to Telltale Tits for her P's and Q's. Okay, and I'm now handing over, is it back to Stephen?
Yeah. You'll be so glad to know that the last award of the evening has no nominations. I just have to remember who gets it. The final award is Spirit of the Fringe, and it goes to somebody or a company that epitomizes the spirit of the Fringe. And I think, as we all know, putting on shows this year has been so difficult for everybody. A few shows have had to pull out because of isolation, and it's just been so difficult to do things. But I don't think this is going to come as a surprise. Robbie has alluded to a lot of this. One company has tried to put on so many shows this year, 4 youth theatre productions plus a senior, an older company production for the first time. 2 got completely wiped out by isolations. All 3 that went on with multiple stand-ins, and they were all wonderful. Just a special word for it. The award is going to go to Rec Youth Theatre Company. But I think what really epitomised it for me was their older company, their 18 to 25 company, Blister, lost 3 out of a cast of 7. And the actor-director, Maya Williams, it was a series of 2-handed scenes, and Maya was only meant to be performing in one. She stood in every single scene as a female part, and it was wonderful. They did so well. So I know Kitty, who runs Rec Youth Theatre, it's actually her birthday, so she's out with her mum and can't be with us today. But I know somebody from Rec Youth Theatre is here. And maybe at least we'd like to come and collect that. Okay, I think that's it. Keith has his hand up. He didn't come to collect the Letterbox Trail Award.
Thank you, Stephen. This is unannounced and unprepared, and Stephanie is immediately looking nervous and worried. My name's Keith Savage. Some of you will know it was my great honour and privilege to be chair of this organisation for a number of years. But I'm currently one of the High Peak Borough Councillor councillors, High Peak Borough Council councillors, I've got this Frankie Howardish title of Member Champion for the Arts. I'm never quite sure what it means exactly, but I think it would be a shame if I didn't at least take this opportunity to say that on behalf of High Peak Borough Council, yes, the council is pleased to be able to make a small financial contribution to the continuation of the Fringe, and we hope that will continue. But I think it's also important to acknowledge on behalf of the whole borough just how much we value the organisations like the Fringe and everything it brings to all of us. We've said umpteen times, haven't we? It's been a strange old year, it's been a difficult old year. For many people, it's been the loneliest and most stressful period of time, because so many of us have been cut off from and detached from friends and from shared experiences. And the Buxton Festival Fringe has been one of those occasions where we've been reminded how much we need as people the solidarity and the strength and the love of those around us. And so on behalf of High Peak Borough Council, can I thank Buxton Festival Fringe, all the artists, all the performers, all the venues, for all that you've given us. And I assure you, we take none of it for granted, but we do really want to see you back next year. Thank you.
I think it's open mic now.
I just wanted to say that when Stephen signed up to be chair, he didn't sign up for 2 years of COVID, pandemic, complete disruption, nothing the same as it had been before, reinventing the wheel at every turn. And we're hugely impressed as a committee with him, and we want to thank him. And so I'm going to seamlessly disappear into the bushes where we've hidden something for him, and let him improvise with the mic while I do that, because we've got him a little something.
To be fair, seamless has been the watchword of this whole time.
It's something you'll like it. You'll like it. It's good. You're going to like this.
Thank you, Stephanie. That's not going to last long.
At least take it off site.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you very much to my committee. They've been wonderful. And thank you all for coming. Good night.